All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this stream here. We got some NA action continuing on. Looking forward to having some fun with this match now coming at us. We got a stint of 3 games personally for myself and Charlie here. Looking forward to some good NA Dota. We got a fun match here. Wheel versus Guess going to be happening. 2 teams that are technically still in it, but to say the least, it's they're not in the best of spots though. So
no, they are below the line right now.
Yeah.
But you know, who knows? They're gonna make a run. We got Wheel versus Guess. The old Annihilate versus Trophimodor.
What's that history there? I know I've heard that name plenty.
I don't know if there's history between the players,
okay.
But Annihilate's been a Dota guy for a while. High MMR player.
Yeah.
Plays mid. Has played in some I guess North American stacks in random tournaments here and there. Always been around. I think he just recently returned as well. I think he had a little hiatus where he just went off from Dota for a little while, but
yeah,
you know, now he's back. He's Wheel's new player.
Okay. What the hell's happening? They're having a lot of fun.
They are playing GeoGuessr out there.
Okay, good old GeoGuessr. Fun game. All right, we got a Night Stalker first pick though. We'll going with that. This has been a popular hero. I've been casting a lot of Southeast Asia this event, but I assume it's similar in North America as well, of course.
Yeah, we saw it in the last game where Flea for Freedom just destroyed. It provides vision. It's a good roaming hero. It's sort of it's also one of those 4-position heroes that are, if you're a support and you're getting run at by a Night Stalker,
yeah,
you can't deal with that. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You just sort of have to run away or stun or hope for the best. Puck, another staple hero that we've seen a lot lately. It's like you can run in the off lane, you can put a mid. Typically we see it more mid, but it's super versatile, pushes out the waves, gives you teamfight control, and you normally think that hero doesn't scale, but once you hit 25 and you get the 420 GPM talent, it allows you to pick up a lot of items. And you know, late game carry isn't really about, it's not just about right click damage anymore. A lot of it is about how can you deliver reliable, consistent damage throughout a team fight. And you get a Veil, you get a Dagon.
Yeah.
You're a carry.
Mix of mobility as well as survivability as well. He really has it all when you think about it, as far as Puck as a hero goes. So yeah, we've been seeing plenty of Puck as well, and it's been a fun hero to watch. Now, on the other side for Guess, I see the Earthshaker Crystal Maiden. Now, Earthshaker maybe not the most popular again, unlike these other heroes that we're talking about, but whenever I see Tralf, aka Johnny Walker, the drafter here on their side, he plays a lot of Earthshaker, I know, so that's like a comfort hero for him. So they run him with a Crystal Maiden, a good duo it seems like.
Yeah, I worry about picking your offlane shaker this early, but again they are on Radiant, so it's better on Radiant because you can do a block at 5 seconds or 35 seconds, where if you block the wave at a specific angle, you can also pull in the big creep camp on
I've seen that, yeah,
on the jungle side.
Despite
it's
Ice
super
Frog's
broken.
Best efforts to remove that idea.
It's super broken. So it's better. I think it's okay as a 3 here. I really don't like Earthshaker as a 4 in this position, just because the Night Stalker is going to be able to, is typically going to be able to outmaneuver you. Your 4 position Earthshaker takes a lot of mana. You have to be at the right time, the right place, very consistently. Very similar to a CM. I think the reason CM feels so kind of crappy right now is the move speed nerf, the mana cost on Frostbite nerf. If you want to make that hero work and you want to make those rotations work, you have to play so well. There's not a lot of room for error. And she's also one of those heroes where, with the rise of things like 4-position Night Stalker, Clockwork, you just get run at.
Yeah, not the best at surviving again, especially with the nerf to the movement speed. I think it's safe to say she can have some trouble. So yeah, interesting with the Earthshaker. They love the blocking idea, but again, I don't watch this team all the time by any means, but it feels like whenever I see him in the game, they run it as that 4 position. So that's more of the comfort thing, whether or not it maybe is going to be better off for them. And they actually do pick up an Omni Knight here, which again, knowing that now, maybe that is going to be more the offlane Omni Knight, and that roaming Earthshaker and Crystal Maiden perhaps. A Rubik in response, though, a great hero to have really across the board this game, I feel like.
Yeah, there's a decent amount of good spells to steal. Fissure's great. You can steal Heal or Repel are amazing spells to take from the Omni Knight as well. So far, I'm liking Wheel's draft a lot more. There's just more mobility on the map. You have the Vision Hero with the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Rubik's just a more dynamic 5 than the Crystal Maiden.
Guardian Angel, fantastic ability to be able to take as well if you can get your hands on it. So yeah, again, across the board, Rubik seems like he's going to have a lot of potential this game to do some work. To clarify, by the way, I was also looking at the records right here. We mentioned these teams technically still have chance, and although it's not going to be easy, Wheel's actually coming off a victory over Complexity. I was watching that game, and you know, Complexity, they had some moments later on, especially that they didn't have the prettiest of fights, but really all the credit to Wheel behind Anti-Mage. On their side, he just had a lot of farm, was eventually able to finish the game and gain that victory. So they actually have a 4-3 record currently, where Guess comes into this match with 3-3. So I mean, both of these teams, again, they have had some middle success, as maybe you would expect with them, but they pretty much need to win out to have any chance. So kind of starts right here. If you lose this, you're probably going to not make that top 5, of course, with NA having 2 teams coming out of the region. So Guess, though, they need, what, a mid as well as their 1 position left.
Yeah, I think it's really important now for both teams to get a mid that, or to get a safe lane carry that matches up well with whatever the offlane is. You want, so for Wheel, if they're gonna have, like right now, I feel like they're ahead. You just want some safe laner that can be pretty self-sufficient and can deal with the Omni Knight on his own.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard. Just because that hero is also really good right now, but you know, there are things like Ursa, which is not a bad pick.
Almost like a Juggernaut too, I feel like could be just a solid option.
Juggernaut's not great just because you don't want to, you can't use your spin willy-nilly.
Yeah.
To just like deal with the lane or get CS,
okay,
because that thing costs a lot of mana. It's not spammable, whereas Omni Knight heal, it is. You can just like keep on running at the Juggernaut, and because Omni Knight has so much HP, you can't, like, one spin isn't enough. After you spin on him, he's going to heal, and then all of a sudden he's at full HP and you're at like half.
So one position that's not reliant on that mana pool necessarily. So like you said, the Ursa.
Right, you just need like reliable sustain, and Juggernaut's also a hero where if you don't win your lane, you feel kind of shitty.
Yeah. So they go Shadow Fiend as their mid option here for Wheel Wreck. You got Faceless Void on the other side for Guess, of course, and looks like it's going to end up being a 1 position Faceless Void. Sometimes he can be in the offlane, of course, but as we expect here, the Omni Knight will take that role in place. So Faceless Void, they're going to match up in middle now against the Shadow Fiend, and again, who this 1 position is going to be for Wheel. As we're just going over there. They have plenty of time, still almost 2 minutes really, before they actually have to choose. But the Ursa still on your list. I mean, Faceless Void, does that change that a little bit?
Not so much. Like if I'm Wheel and you know your options are maybe Ursa, Sven, maybe like maybe a Venomancer. No, Venomancer's banned. There aren't too many self-sufficient offlaners anymore.
What about even something like more of a range idea, something like a gyrocopter on the side of Wheel Wreck?
That's a possibility. You just have to build super tanky. It's not just generally not something that's very common.
Yeah. I was also leaning towards maybe a Vengeful, but you don't really want to be having that swap as a 1 position to, you know, save people in Faceless Voids necessarily when the Chronosphere's there. So.
Well, you also want something that helps the, because your Shadow Fiend is the star here.
Yeah.
So Venge actually might not be bad.
Okay.
She typically builds like very tanky, surprisingly tanky, so hard to burst down in a Chrono, especially because so far Guess doesn't really have anything that combos well with the Void, other than like Crystal Maiden, Freezing Field, and a heal on the Void.
Alright, well they are going to use all their time, that's for sure, and then you look on the other side of Guess, again they still need their middle position themselves, so maybe it's going to determine what this final pick is, but you know, matching up against a Shadow Fiend, you figure, is what they got going for them, and who is left open for that? I mean, there's a lot of mid bans. I was looking at Lena and TA came to mind, and sure enough, both of those are banned. OD ban coming out from Wheel as well. So, I mean, there's still something like a sniper is still on the board. Go with those Chronospheres. And there's a Vengeful.
And
all right.
they go with the Venge because the SF is a star. You really want to enable him in this lineup. And you know, Venge doesn't have the greatest range against Omni, but if you have a Rubik there in the lane early, it is like if you can secure the first levels for the Venge, she'll do fine.
So now that mid option. Again, Sniper still on that list. Okay, Invoker was still there, and that's the direction they go. So what do we think of the Invoker final pick?
It combos well with the Void. They needed damage in the Chronosphere. Like, that was the biggest issue for them right now. And well, there they got it. It's actually okay, the early matchup in the first few levels, because both SF and Invoker's base damage is kind of crappy.
Yeah.
But you know, after a while, Shadow Fiend is, you know, he's gonna hit that level 3 raise. But there's almost no hero that really deals well with that. So that's kind of a wash. You just accept that. And Invokers usually just want to get Midas and go off to the jungle anyways, and then you can give the lane to like maybe one of your more level starved heroes, like probably like the Earthshaker.
All right, so lineups are set. Again, important game for both of these teams right here. You lose this, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're not going to be advancing on. North American region has 2 teams though, so making top 5 is what really matters. But you know, an update also on just the overall standings you have on the mainstream, in fact, going on. Or really keeping an eye on that match too, because arguably the biggest match of NA is happening right now. NP versus Planet Odd. Those 2 teams currently only have 1 loss each. 6-1 for Planet Odd, 5-1 for NP. Really, the winner of that could be set up to get first place. Up there with Team Freedom, to be fair. You also got to credit to, I think Freedom's kind of been the big surprise so far, as far as what they've been able to do.
Yeah. Alright, and we have CM Smoking out to place a ward, but he's been caught out. Knows he's there. Gets dewarded immediately. That's one of those, oh god, I fucked up.
Yeah. That feels bad, man. That's quite the investment already taken away. Mid-wars are just so popular in these games. It's honestly almost a surprise to me that they don't get countered more often, but you know, constantly changing it up is obviously good.
Yeah, it's like you always smoke up to go place those wards now because you don't want them to get countered.
Yeah.
And his smoke didn't break until just a bit after, I believe, and I think if he was maybe a little more patient, walked up further, because like that's a pretty common spot to stand at the high ground, just at the lip of at the top of the stairs. If he moved first just to see his smoke get broken before he placed the ward, you know, then that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, they're not smoked up right here, but they're just gonna run right in, man mode style. IX Mike though. The Omni Knight, he's going to obviously spot this incoming. He's feeling safe himself, doesn't have a point just yet, but they're going to bully themselves in here for this bounty room. But IX Mike does not want to get this up without a fight. In fact, he picks it up as the Fissure comes out as well, lifted in the air. The magic missile to follow. Nightstalker just sitting on top of him, putting in the auto attacks. The Fissure's kind of blocking him in, but it's not going to be enough to take him out, though. And now they're trying to save their Vengeful, if anything. Remember, that is a core Venge setup right now. As Johnny Walker, a.k.a. Trout, looking to finish. No, he has another Fissure, but it wouldn't be enough for the kill, so
he canceled his salve, though.
Oh, okay. Took off that. He needs to be careful himself still. Nightstalker is still going back in. Obviously, it's daytime, so the Void not as effective. But after all that, it's no kills, and IX Mike out the rune anyways.
No, that was honestly great for Guess. Cancel the Venge salve. Mike, you know, manned up, grabs the rune. And now he has an advantage in this lane. And he gets the range creep.
The range creep right there, so you know, also be able to deny this here, and oh no, maybe not. Gonna be boxed out by Rubik for the time being, and sets up for the Vengeful to take it out. So yeah, IX Mike here again. This is a very experienced offlaner. He's been around the scene forever. You know, it's been a little bit since maybe he's been on a very big name team, but he's kind of just always been one of these solid NA players that you can count on. And how do you think he's gonna fare at that top lane against the Venge and the Rubik?
I think he'll do like perfectly fine. He'll get his levels. It'll be really hard for them to kill him, especially now that you know he's level 2. Might go like he got the bounty rune. Like Rubik doesn't really do anything to zone him out.
Yeah.
Like Venge can sustain in the lane by herself, as long as KVH gets some early boots so he doesn't get chased down. But they're not going to be able to fully zone out Mike.
Well, the other offlaner, again, it is a puck offlane, to be clear on that. So that honestly is kind of just hitting me. I know we saw the Shadow Fiend, he's going to be mid and everything, but then that's right. That means the puck ends up in the offlane, a matchup against the Faceless Void right here. And so far, it's really been a 1 versus 1. Both Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker have been rolling around between the top and the middle lane. So, so far, you'd have a 5 and 6 Faceless, a 4 and 5 puck, actually. So it's actually not going too bad for either side. Keeping it pretty even, but this puck seems like he's actually doing fairly well. Would you expect him to keep doing well?
Yeah, absolutely. Puck is really happy right now. You get a 1v1 against a melee hero, that is your dream. Crystal Maiden, like, even though that the Night Stalker hasn't killed the Maiden or done anything like that, just the threat of the Night Stalker being on the map is pretty scary. Like, Wu Dota starts off in, like, near the top Radiant jungle rather than typically the safe lane, because like if a Night Stalker is already down there in the safe lane and she's like trying to zone out the puck and trading hits or whatever, and all of a sudden a Night Stalker appears, Crystal Maiden's just dead.
Yeah. Well, Crystal Maiden and that Earthshaker are rotating over, looking to see if they can make a play. And has that phase shift though. Lucifer Orb going to be coming up in a second. There's a Fissure lead, but really just to kind of pressure him out, maybe get that salve to be used here is the ultimate goal with that. So we'll remain without a first blood here just yet so far in this game. And then you got to look at the middle matchup now. Shadow Fiend 24 and 10, Invoker 9 and 0. Not going so well here, to say the least. So man, Shadow Fiend is dominating here, Charlie.
Yeah, I don't know if Guess got the memo, but during the balance changes for the new patch, there was an addendum, and it said that mid lane is now 2v2 at the very least. 1v1s are no longer a thing.
Yeah.
And so you generally have a 4 position hero start out in the mid, just like zoning out the other guy. It's just how everybody plays now. That's the new meta.
Yep.
Sometimes you even see 3 heroes mid.
Got to make those adjustments. I mean, to be fair, Earthshaker was there for a little bit, but really, how much is he going to do? And especially if Night Stalker's also there. It seems like Night Stalker's a better hero for running at you as you're even kind of going out with a draft, where Earthshaker's more of that setup from a distance, and at the early levels, maybe not going to be as scary with how things were set up here in the middle lane. I mean, you see him again kind of roaming around, but are they really going to be able to do much here?
I will tell you, they are probably not going to. Invoker has like a third of the CS of the Shadow Fiend right now.
This is absurd. Jeez. Yeah, this is one of the most dominating. And you would figure it's like, okay, well, it's just some complete outmatch. In fact, Invoker's just going to get worse right here. Out comes a Void. It is nighttime, baby. That's awkward. The Fissure, I mean, Drought was just simply trying to get any kind of block to help him out. But to be fair, I don't think there's really anything he could have done to keep him alive right there. But it inevitably was going to happen. First blood for the Dire.
Yeah, now you feel really shitty as Radiant supports. Like you can't fully zone out the puck. Your mid lane has already lost. You're a CM that's afraid of a Night Stalker. It costs look how much mana it takes to Frostbite you now.
Yeah.
To use Frostbite, over half her mana is gone, and then she's just done.
Trying to be useful down here. She is level 3, but again, Night Stalker, it's nighttime. He's level 3 himself. The level 2 Void as a result. Very strong for this first nighttime especially. Already made use of it in that middle lane. Now he's just going to have both Faceless and Crystal Maiden hide next to their tower as a result of really just his presence of being here. So him and Puck. Now Puck is not level 6 just yet, but once he does get there, of course, that Dream Coil going to start kicking in and possibly looking to dive the tower as a result of that. Middle lane. Well, Johnny Walker's kind of just running in, taunting a little bit on the Shadow Fiend, but this is a Shadow Fiend that's feeling very good right now. He already has a full Power Treads to go with the bottle, currently out of bottle charges, but Power Treads Ring of Aquila has been picked up and well on his way to whatever he really wants to a Magic 1 right now. But what kind of game is this for the Shadow? Well, actually, hold that thought, because Ike's Mike top lane. Going to be swapped in, actually go the other direction, force him out. One more auto attack, yes, Vengeful gets it, and down goes the Omni Knight now, but Back to Shadow Fiend. What do we expect to see on him after this early build?
Typically, when you see Shadow Fiend lineups with Avenge now, where you want to make the SF the star, you don't go for typical like solo pick off, Shadow Blade kind of stuff. And I Annihilate, like the last Shadow Fiend game he played, he didn't do this either. So I would expect them to build like Dragonlance and to just like tank up, make sure you don't die during the Chronosphere. As we see Johnny Walker get taken down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think honestly a full-on Hurricane Pike, I wouldn't be surprised at all because Force Staff is very good to have against Chronosphere.
We'll definitely see Hurricane Pike, like Dragonlance into Hurricane Pike, possibly a BKB later into something like, depending on how good his game is, he'll pick up the Butterfly at some point, and then they're just going to march down a lane.
Yeah. I feel like this is a little bit of tilt kicking in when your teammate says well played in chat after you die. The Invoker right there, so yeah, it's not been the friendliest game for him. Wouldn't be surprised if he's a little frustrated. Top lane, Ike Smack also not a friendly game for him, and because of this Night Stalker running into his face, he's going to live through this one, but just the pressure will continue, and just simply having to deal with it any way he can. Bottom lane, ooh. That was a Chronosphere almost. He thought about it, but oh, he is going to actually use it. Catch Puck down here. Sunstrike right on top. Should be enough damage. Oh, the Enchant Tether needs to be used as well. Phase shift. Oh, he could not get it up in time.
He got if he didn't get bashed, there's a really good possibility he was going to live there after the stick.
Yeah.
Could have orbed, phase shift, jaunts, maybe throw down a coil to get out. But that's not the worst thing. Puck is still doing pretty well, and that's a Chronosphere used.
Yep.
And like I think the best part about that for Wheel is that Invoker didn't get the kill. So he had to commit a Sunstrike, doesn't get the EXP, But despite that, he's actually catching up fairly okay now with the higher levels of Exhort. He can actually last hit against the SF, and he is on his way to a Midas. 1,000 gold away.
Yeah, got to get there. That's still always going to be your option, of course, for Invoker. Get there, get the axe eventually as a result of that. But right now, look at what Puck's doing, just kind of hiding at the Radiant Ancients. I don't know if he's just expecting somebody to come in, or maybe the middle lane they want to gank this Invoker, but as we see, he's farming the jungle currently. Now he's heading back, though. And with that Dream Coal ready, wouldn't be surprised if this could be a possible kill. Wouldn't be surprised if they dive this even. Somewhat, but...
Yeah, he wants to make a play. He's got Coil ready, and it's daytime, so he wants to give the Night Stalker some space to get his own levels up.
They see him, though. Yeah, he ran right past a ward, so they're pinging him out pretty heavily. They know something's up. You look at Shadow Fiend with an Invis rune kind of coming in the flank. Requiem is not leveled up, though, so doesn't have the best position for that. Crystal Maiden, excuse me, gets caught by the ultimate of Puck, but not going to be enough for the kills, so not the greatest setup right here for Wheel, and they are going to have to retreat as a result. In fact, Shadow Fiend going to be hit by the Frostbite. Crystal Nova, not enough chase, though, so he survives.
They're just going to go back at this point. Dota the 2's going to soak up EXP at bottom. I think at this point they just want to wait for the next night.
When is that? We got 2 minutes here.
2 minutes, yeah.
Before that nighttime kicks in. Of course, Puck, ideally that Dream Coal will be back up as well, so that's going to be looking to make a play with that. Faceless Void, how is he coming along? I mean, he just actually got an Iron Talon right here, and now he's looking to finish that Vlad's, I would guess.
Yeah, because I think he got that Iron Talon because maybe he felt a little pressured in the jungle, or pressured in lane. Thought about going to the jungle or something, but it still helps him like farm a lot.
Quietly farming at the top lane, though, is that Vengeful Spirit, and talk about the idea of a Hurricane Pike being good this game. Vengeful's going to be going that himself, too. At least we know that for now. Looking back at Shadow Fiend, he does actually have his own Dragonlance finish, so have that answer as well. No surprise.
Yeah, very, very standard so far. As the Chronosphere comes out on the Puck, Sunstrike, Fissure.
Rubik was running in, maybe try to make a play right there. Can he maybe steal a Chronosphere? Oh, he's not level 6, actually, so. But they're going to get the kill, however, and that's what really matters. Vengeful, just a lot of damage. The level 4 Magic Missile with a Wave of Terror enhancement. And then Rubik with a Zap to finish the job there.
That is hashtag worth.
Yeah.
Chronosphere used. Venge gets the kill on the safe lane Void. Gave up your Puck, but, it's just an offlane Puck.
I think that's the biggest point. If that's a mid puck, you know, maybe you kind of look at it differently. But the off-lane puck, who's kind of struggling anyways, he's really just here as a setup with the Dream Coil, and you know, will scale decently throughout the game still, even with these couple of deaths.
Mike just barely got out.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was at like 2 hits away.
That top lane up there, so he survives at least. But they were setting up bottom lane, but not going to make a play as there's 3 here for the Radiant side.
This is pretty important now. Meng hits 6, so he has the darkness if he wants to use it. Maybe make a play earlier before Knight, but you know, Knight's gonna hit now.
Oh, darkness comes out, and Rubik is actually on the run right here, but in comes Vengeful Spirit, Wave of Terror put out, Sunstrike will connect, not enough for the killer. Chronosphere, no, he doesn't have it actually. We'll just use the time dilation right there. He wants to finish the job on a Rubik. Will do so. Crystal Maiden picked off, however, in return. Swap from Vengeful, yes, he'll use it. Finishes off Tralf right there on Earthshaker. And now it's him versus Faceless Void. I think Faceless wins this battle straight up, but not with the Night Stalker here. Out comes the Crippling Fear and the Void, and the Magic Missile finishes the job. A hat trick coming out for KVH right here on Vengeful.
Yeah, he had 17 stick charges too. I don't think he was ever really that worried.
And now he goes right back to the bottom lane to continue pushing it out. By the way, why? I don't know why I've never really thought about this, but if you would know the history or why this is the case, but we could have actually middle lane, so I'm trying to wait to see if that develops first. They deny the middle tower. Well played right there, but Dream Coil now hits, and they're going to go opposite directions. Echo Slam in the face of Puck, just simply trying to live. As Crystal Maiden still will get picked off. The Enchant Totem with the Repel. Time dilation. We'll set up a... No, actually, that was a phase shift right there going off. So Earthshaker is picked off. And now Faceless Void is going back and forth against the 3 of them. He throws out the Chronosphere, gets a Bash Proc in between, but without the follow-up damage. I don't know if they're going to be able to kill Puck right here. Loser up, and there's the ultimate. The Requiem of Souls going off from iAnnihilate. Double kill for him. Crystal Maiden trying to take out Night Stalker. Ain't enough damage, though.
Oh, Mike was like 1 second away from being able to get off the heal, but then he got silenced. The Chronosphere didn't last long enough. Yep. It's just like, Guess feels like maybe they're so close to stringing together like a good fight, but they're so far behind. Their timings are behind. Nothing is working out for them. It was a good Chronosphere, just,
yeah.
You know, 2 of your heroes are already dead at that point.
Exactly. It's one of those like, the idea is right, but was it really good when the teammates weren't really there to support? You know, it's if you don't have the damage follow-up, it's not really that good in the end for the Faceless Void there. But he tried.
He did.
Not enough. No Guardian Angel yet either on the Omni Knight, despite being level 9. So, gotta wonder if that could have saved things.
I mean, I think ultimately this really comes down to the fact that Night Stalker is an amazing roaming support.
Yep, he's trusted. There's a reason he's up there on that tier. I think it's like, what, Night Stalker, Sand King, Clockwork, and Nyx. We've seen a lot of Nyx.
I would put Nyx like a tier below those 3.
Okay, so those 3 really stand out there. Yeah, that's kind of those trio that if that's seen, then expect the roams to happen. All right, so going back to what I was suggesting right there on the Magic Stick, or the Magic Wand even, why is it 17 charges max? What is the idea of that?
I mean, why is it 17 and not like a nice
about
round number?
20,
like,
yeah.
I mean, you got me, dude.
So it's one of those, huh? It's one of those. Was it like that in Dota 1, I guess, and it just kind of stuck?
I mean, maybe Ice Frog just really likes the number 17.
All right. Who knows? I'm sure there's some kind of other meme out there, even the actual truth. Dream Coil, by the way, used solo on a Crystal Maiden. The phase shift to avoid the fissure stun as a preemptive phase shift. Not enough damage, though, because of great use of the Magic Stick coming out from Crystal Maiden, but the Requiem goes off, and Crystal will still die in the distance. Invoker, though, with that Repel up, putting some damage into Annihilate, but because of the offensive swap, not only to save the Shadow Fiend, but now put some damage out herself. Chronosphere in 2 seconds, by the way. He's going to look to use it right here. Illusory Orb goes off. He has to time walk the other direction. So a double kill comes out for Shadow Fiend meanwhile as he picks off Tralf, but now Faceless Chronosphere? No, he's dead at that point. No reason to give that up. This is looking pretty one-sided here, Charlie.
Yeah, this is like not a fun game for anybody on Guess. I think it's like it's at the point now where like iAnnihilate feels ahead. Like he is almost double the net worth of the Invoker.
Yeah.
Like he's actually gone for the Shadow Blade for the swaggy plays.
Well, why not get an item like that when there's so much action going on, of course, and kind of keep at it. Now, they do kill Night Stalker. That was combo the meatball coming out from Invoker on top of the Echo Slam of Earthshaker, but that's got to be a satisfying kill against a hero that's been obviously very annoying. Of really all the heroes, frankly, but man, a Hurricane Pike also finished on Vengeful, so yeah, Shadow Fiend's very farmed himself, but
yeah, he feels like a boss right now. Like, I think if this game were closer, he wouldn't have gone for the Shadow Blade, but you know, at this point, like, do you, man?
Well, is there something to say to that where maybe it is a mix of him almost having fun with it, but again, when you are this far ahead, Shadow Blade's kind of an item that will allow you to keep on getting further ahead, I guess you could say. Is maybe there that logic, or do you think this is purely...
I think it's no, I think part of the rationale is I'm so far ahead, I want to continue to apply pressure and make them scared and construct the map for them, and you know, Shadow Blade is a very good item for that. You do have to be very careful to not, like, you know, get picked off, and oh my god, obviously. That venge range is so long.
Yeah, Hurricane Pike the creep right there, but he has his level 10 talent, 25 attack speed. I was looking if he got a talent that actually increases attack range,
he doesn't.
But nah. Yeah, Vengeful and Notorious for having that low attack range earlier on, at least. Only 400 as a range, but adding up with that Hurricane Pike and 4-man smoking. This seems desperate here from Guess of really wanting to get something. Vlad's
just missed the Venge.
Yeah, that would have been the prime target, really.
They may just have to settle for a lowly derp.
They can't even get him, though, because he stole Time Walk. Oh, boy. It was like, even if they get that with the Chronosphere use, it's like, is that really the best deal? But you don't even get the chance. So, that's just got to sting even more.
WWD feels pretty bad right now. He lacks damage in Chronosphere. All he has is a Vlad's, whereas the Venge is hitting for like 150.
Then minus, what is it, minus 6 armor on top of that.
Yeah.
From the Wave of Terror. I mean, you look across the board, that's negative armor for Invoker, negative for Earthshaker, not so much for Faceless, Crystal Maiden negative, and Omni Knight, he'll be somewhat tanky. But yeah, 3 of the heroes are going to be negative just simply from a Wave of Terror. And then you throw in the Shadow Fiend, obviously with the Dark Presence there. On top, what is that actually? It's minus 5, will be minus 6, so yep, minus 12 armor that they're dealing with.
Yeah,
fights as well.
Guess we'll smoke up. Or Wheel will smoke up.
On the Dire side, Shadow Blade activation and get in the front lines here. Look for that opening. He does have his Hurricane Pike now. Darkness. Invoker, that would be a nice kill. Void comes out. Crystal Maiden, there's
really
the fissure.
Though.
It is, and actually a big Chronosphere as a result. But again, the follow damage. Actually, Invoker got caught right there on the side of the Chronosphere, so he's unable to do much. Requiem from a massive distance right there. At least applies the debuff. But not the most damage as a result. Oh, Vengeful. Swap out Rubik. Yeah, that was kind of an awkward swap because he was kind of close in anyway. So down goes Vengeful.
Man.
Well, Wheel's like, here, have some kills. We want you to still hang in this game.
That was so sloppy.
Yeah.
It's like one of those moments where you feel like you're so far ahead you can just do whatever you want. And you just see that juicy Invoker sitting at the tower. But, you know, while you're ahead, you have to recognize that, you know, you don't have the greatest way to like initiate on just one hero. But like when he's standing behind the tower, and you gotta know that everybody else is behind them, and they have really good counter initiation between the Void Chronosphere, the Earthshaker, and the Omni Knight. You can't get too far ahead of yourself and take fights like that. And just like that, the Invoker didn't die. He's got his Ags now.
Yep.
Midas. And I think you saw like Dota the 2 draw a line where he's just like, all right, smoke up to me and let's just take top and like get objectives. Like you have a sit behind Shadow Fiend lineup. Just do that and win the game.
You hope that after that fight, if anything, it kind of does remind him of what you're saying. That, all right, this game isn't over yet. Let's actually calm things down. 9,000 net worth lead is nice, but still work to be done for sure. And items like the BKB on Shadow Fiend will definitely help that cause. But Vengeful Spirit is going to be going the Diffusal Blade, help take care of possibly the Guardian Angels. I would think one of the bigger ones, of course, of the Omni Knight, so they can finish off targets here. Obviously, you can't use it on Repel anymore. But yeah, I mean, Invoker getting the Ags at 20 minutes. It's not like it's not ideal, but honestly, that's not bad.
Considering his lane.
Yeah, it's actually very good. Feels like it. So they do kill Roshan, though. Who do they get the Aegis to?
Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend, yeah.
He is your building hitter in this case.
Makes sense there.
So at this point, they should probably just, you know, Chronosphere is, oh, it'll be up soon, but maybe they smoke up and try and get like a better pick-off that's where they're not behind, like 5 heroes sitting on a tower, and then at that point you just start hitting buildings. But it looks like they're just going to skip the pick-off part and try and take this mid-tier 1.
So a couple things here. Well, first we'll look at the tier 2 tower push middle lane. Faceless Void, getting the Blink Dagger. This is a one-position Faceless Void. Blink Dagger, Vlad's Power Treads. That screams off-lane Void that is just here for your initiation. Their right click is weak right now.
Yeah, I think they realize, like, look, it doesn't matter if I can do damage in Chronosphere. There's no single item I can get right now that's really going to change things. Like, how they're going to win a team fight is not through his right clicks. How they're going to win a team fight is through perfect initiation and a great chrono. And they just need to survive up until that moment.
Yeah. It is a little unfortunate they have that Earthshaker, it almost feels like, as far as a follow-up to that. Whoa!
Oh!
Faceless, calm down there. He just really went in. And that kind of goes back to the lack of heavy lockdown that they have on this Dire side, I guess. He couldn't really abuse the fact that...
Well, I think if KVH knew that he didn't have too much support back there, he could have just force half swapped him back in, and then they would have just killed him right there.
Yeah.
But, you know, some fearfulness after that last failed attempt out of them. Give some respect to your opponents.
Rubik, Time Lock has to be one of the stronger abilities for him to steal in this game. Does it again right there.
Yeah, it's okay. Ideally, you'd like to steal, you know, Fissure or Repel.
Yeah. It's survivability, Rod, sure, but yeah. Of course, those other ones would be nice. He actually has a Helmet of Dominator on Rubik. Whoa,
you got that Alpha Wolf, man. Yeah. But yeah, so this was originally... Oh, we have an engagement?
Kinda. WWW is thinking about it. Meanwhile, Time Lock out from Rubik as well.
But yeah, this is initially what Wheel wanted to do, is sit behind a Shadow Fiend and just siege towers like this and get ahead. But instead, you know, he went for the sort of swaggy Shadow Blade pickup because he felt like he was too far ahead. But you know, that's just hubris.
WWD, Chronosphere, he's up there with the repel, but that's kind of their plan, it feels like. He's just going to time walk away after a couple of seconds. Getting some damage in. So, I mean, I like it. It's obviously working so far from Guess. And they are holding up here. The tower taking some decent damage, almost half-life currently, but the Alpha Wolf actually dies there, and Wheel's feeling like they can't really break the pace just yet. So, should they maybe wait for the BKB here for Shadow Fiend to really go in?
They can. I mean, they did it just because he had the Aegis. You might as well get some free chip damage in. But Nighttime just ran out. They're not in a huge rush because they see the Void got Blink Dagger. He has no damage items. He has no way of really getting back into the game other than a huge team fight. So, you know, why give him that opportunity? You can just fall back and farm and continue to constrict the map. Wait for a better opportunity.
Trying to kill this Wandering Ripper that's controlling it. Oh no, if this ends up killing him, that is insanely huge. He is going to get away, but there's a swap, so maybe not so much. Hurricane Pike, no. Chronosphere comes out barely alive on the outskirts. He's doing damage. He figures he might as well, I guess, and he ends up going down with no buyback now. That was all because he tried to kill this Wilding Ripper, and he didn't even kill it.
And that should be Wheel's cue to go.
Yeah. 100%.
Chrono's down, boys.
Yeah.
I annihilate. Go hit that tower again.
He's got the Aegis still, and for long enough to be comfortable with this. Yeah, what do? They have no initiation now. I guess they have Echo Slam, but they don't even have that with no blink.
I mean, Trout does not. He's close to Dagger.
Yeah, sell everything that he has minus the boots, maybe. I mean, he might have it, but he doesn't have it yet, and that should at least be the tier 3. Probably gonna follow. Actually, BKB delivered to Shadow Fiend. He's gonna go for a Requiem Chance now. He's gonna accept death right here. Seems like. Never mind.
Oh, Rubik stole heal.
Oh, that's nice. Purification, yeah.
Yeah, and they're just going to get back. Void is up. They got, you know, some significant damage on that tower.
But even with Void up, there's no Chronosphere as you stress, so
yep.
Why should they really be scared about that? It's not like he's dealing much damage.
Yep. So they realize there's just a few hits away from dying. They take that. Now you can take the shrines, wait for Knight, wait for next Roshan, and then the game plan for Wheel should be pretty simple right now.
So yeah, finish it. The next Roshan timing seems like that in mind, and so that gives us about a 5 to 8 minute window here for them to truly try to finish it. So if you're Guess, get that blink on Earthshaker, which it looks like he has now. Faceless, I would guess he's going to try to turn that Band of Elfskin into a Yasha, if anything, so a little bit of damage enhancement. And then you got Invoker, who's being gone on by Puck somewhat, but he is going to be fine.
Right now, Guess should just immediately smoke up and try and find a pick-off somewhere. You're not going to win this game by farming in your base or hiding in your base or defending high ground right now. Yeah. The only way you win a come back is by taking a big fight. You should realize that Night Stalker, he went for the finished Solar Crest rather than getting Ags. So, and it's daytime, so he has limited vision. This is the moment where you should smoke up and just try and find something.
Well, it's dark now. He uses that darkness. I think that was almost a defensive darkness for the top lane. He saw them coming up here, but it might not matter in the end. That's Rubik.
Alright, this should be free.
That's a free kill. No, Purification.
Alright, you guys got something. Try and find something else now.
Yeah.
You got all your ultimates. Darkness should be wearing off in, not too long.
20 more seconds or so. Has that up, so yeah, Night Stalker almost a little scared there. Again, he has that gem. That's a prime kill for sure if you're Guess, but unable to find him. Shadow Blade up from Shadow Fiend. That BKB still a full 10 seconds long. Oh, he also has a double damage active, actually. Is he level 20 yet? No, he's not level 20, though. That's another key, of course, for Shadow Fiend. That steroid ability for the talent. Doubling the souls. Getting up to 72 damage right there. BKB also being worked on by Vengeful Spirit, so those BKBs going to be coming out now. It gets a Quotosphere, obviously, that can still lock you down, but BKB will be very good this game. Most of the damage coming from Invoker, after all. Yeah,
almost all the damage on Guess's team is magical. There's some right-click out of the Invoker or the Faceless, but none of them. Look at this Faceless. He's got nothing.
Yeah, it's part of me feels bad because I get why. He's obviously struggling just like most of this team is, unfortunately, but as a one-position Faceless, that's just unacceptable, frankly. You can't have this as you're just putting so much on your Invoker.
Well, this is what happens when you don't win lanes.
That is true. I'm trying to find the console in here. Oh, in this pause. There we go. I was using this last time at different controls, so now we should be good. Alright, so is this a little bit of an out draft, or is it really more so the play that's kind of led us to where we are?
I think this is mostly a bit of an out draft that led into it snowballed into a massive laning stage advantage, and then that further led to to this right here. It's the skill gap between teams now is. It's definitely not as large as it was, a couple years ago, and so, the little things really matter.
Yeah, that start was ridiculous in the middle lane. You look back at that. Now, to be fair, to Invoker's credit, again, he's the one that's really recovered for this team, and actually, he's going to be in an interesting spot. They go on Omni Knight down here. They're going to kill him before he gets anything off. No, he gets a Guardian Greaves used, actually, and he's going to stay alive for the time being. Purification up, and remains alive. So that was actually a courier kill to top it all off.
Yeah. But, it's I think even more than the loss, the bigger deal isn't so much that Invoker got out CS or whatever. I think the bigger deal is how far behind the supports were.
Yeah.
It's just at that point you have an Earthshaker and a CM running around, very slow. They don't feel like they can do anything compared to the Rubik Night Stalker that's running around the map making plays.
You just also... It would be fun to get a heat map of the last 5 minutes of this game, even how Guess has basically just been sitting in their base, slowly, maybe barely going out, if anything, and pushing up from Invoker. But other than that, it's been completely controlled, of course.
There are 2 smokes on them, but the problem is it's nighttime right now. They should go out and try and take a fight. They're not going to win the game like this.
What are you waiting for? Yeah.
Don't play to to lose the game, to not lose. You know, play to win.
Yeah, that's very fair. But you know, with the TI spot on the line, or at least phase 2 in these teams' cases.
Oh well, yeah, but you gotta earn that TI spot.
True.
You know, you can't like sort of not die to get it. This is not the, you know, like middle school or elementary school or whatever. You know, they don't reward,
man.
They don't reward you for just participating. No, you gotta win.
No, I 100% agree on that, of course, and you really definitely got to earn it. But you know, the idea that a little bit of nerves kicking in, or you almost think that you have to play so defensive because of what's on the line. But you're right. I mean, you can't let yourself get caught up in that. You got to just play your game, and they're going to try that here now with the smoke. Seems that they got the cojones. Well, they get the execution. Night Stalker, again a prime target, but oh, he was slow right there. Did not use the blink. And Night Stalker's going to be fine for now. Is he going to Chronosphere for this? He absolutely is. Not really the most team support nearby, to be fair. And this should be a kill, actually. So, yeah, there's the gem. Get it in the end just for a Chronosphere, really. So, really, that's something.
So that is definitely something. You know, if your guests are like, all right, we got the gem, kill the Night Stalker. That's some vision and some pressure off the map. Let's go try and do something else now. And they ping out Rush. They know that they're doing it. We got a 4v5 clash here.
Yeah, going into Roche when your Night Stalker just died and gave up the gem. That seems like a ballsy decision, and it might pay off in favor of the Radiant side. Echo Slam, initiation comes out. Obviously no Chronosphere, but the Guardian Angel use as well as the Requiem Explosion goes out. So the damage, but the steal from Rubik. He actually stole the GA from the Omni Knight. Let's just sit in there like the boss that he is with that BKB. Shadow Fiends, Shadow Blades in, going for that Invoker. Crystal Maiden actually lives, but he wants Invoker dead. However, the Frostbite is the last second, and Invoker will barely stay alive. How is nobody actually dead at this point? Time walk for WWD. He'll stay alive. Are you freaking kidding me? Repel out.
Nobody died.
Where's the fight recap? Oh, that's right. Nobody actually died. Wow.
I Annihilate got really greedy for that Invoker. I'm pretty sure if he just turned around and hit anybody else, they might have gotten 2 other kills. But at the end of the day, it's sort of whatever. They got the Roshan. I understand why he wanted the Invoker. It's like the bigger kill.
Of course, yeah.
Killing a CM, it doesn't really do anything for you.
Damn. I mean, in the long run, yes, it's successful for the Dire side. I mean, just gotta show though this Radiant team, especially with Omni Knight, you know, if he's able to get off that GA, and I expect the defense, you gotta think that he was most of that, right? That's the hero that he is. Obviously, the Guardian Greaves, the Repel, the Purification, doing a lot of work that fight. It was a good job by Rubik with the heads up to steal the GA, and I guess that's what really just caused the whole turtle of that fight in the end. He actually stole Repel. He currently has it. That's pretty big too.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much Mike can do about that, just because there's a lot of wind up on your spells. Oh, we got a
Chronosphere. Catches Vengeful, but not.
He's repelled.
Damage. Yeah.
He is repelled.
That Repel still coming into play immediately. So as you're stressing though, X-Mac, not much you can do about that, but Vengeful Sphere immediately to be swapping somebody in. Or he does have that cheese in. Magic Missile stuns Earthshaker, gets the kill right there, and Faceless also gonna fall. He has a buyback, but no Chronosphere, minimal damage output. Again, is that really that scary? Probably not. Melee Rax and the Range Rax gonna fall. Deafening Blast. Invoker just simply trying to hold as much as he can. Crystal Maiden, that's not going to work. Time Dilation will be popped. It's a little bit of a nuisance right there that they have to deal with, but they're going to rotate right to the middle lane. And look to push out in that tier 3 now as well. They can't really stop this. No Echo Slam, no Chronosphere.
No damage.
Damage, that's the obvious too, yeah. Yeah, they're good at staying alive though. Oh, Omni Knight especially. Oh, maybe not so much. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, this looks like the end for Guess.
Never give up. Trout's gonna land a big Echo Slam right here.
All right, Trout, I believe in you.
Believe in the heart of the cards. Do it. You know you want to.
Believe in me that believes in you, Trout.
That's
all right. He doesn't believe.
Yeah, he's just sitting back. Lane. GG disconnects. Yeah, Bryle, it was a frustrating game for him, no doubt. But as a team, obviously, couldn't really get anything going. You talked about the laning phase was just dominated, really, by the Dire team, and they just fed off of that there in this game. So Wheels victorious, and that puts them at what? That puts them at 5-3 now. I mean, that's a respectable record, and one more win would put them at 6-3. Who did they play last? They played DC, so
I mean that's a winnable game. Like DC can be a little shaky. They have a tie record right now. It's
DC just lost to Freedom, got dominated by Freedom.
Yeah, but Freedom is looking real good.
Yeah,
Freedom's looking real good right now.
That's going to be interesting. And actually, I think that's the one we cast next here on this stream. So that makes it a little more entertaining now. We got Will versus DC.
That's hype, man.
Yeah, that's definitely could determine quite a bit. If DC loses that could be a dangerous spot for them as far as even being knocked out of the TI qualifiers here.
DC goes 4-4, then that puts complexity back into the running.
Yep.
You know, who knows what happens?
Who knows? Who knows? Well, guys, we are going to take that short break. So from myself, Break ZBK, joined by Charlie here. We got some more coverage here. Like we said, DC versus Will be our next match. We'll trying to keep things going. DC, though, 10K MMR. Get to see what it's all about. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.